Hello, my fellow air sign Gemini. I have a friend who's a quadruple Gemini, so I, and I know quite a few people with the same birthday too, which is interesting. I always wonder about things like that because there's a few dates. Um, Actually, it's Gemini and Aquarians which is they're both air sign. No, yeah, okay. Like, wait a minute, I'm getting confused in a second. Just realized that the people that I know that have the same birthday, that they happen to be in those two signs, which is interesting. Um, yeah, I mean, I have a cluster late September Libras, but they're not the same date. Okay, anyways, Gemini. I am here talking to the Geminis who are feeling like they're having a hard time understanding what's going on with their person. Maybe the communication isn't great. I have a sense of reading for the people who need insight the most. So I can't speak to all Geminis. There's way too many of you out there. So if this is not your story, don't worry about it. There are plenty of readers out there. I could say go read or go listen to one of your other placements, but if you identify mostly with the Gemini and this reading isn't connecting with you, that's fine. Like I said, um, I can tell you there's so many wonderful readers out there, and I'm not going to be hurt if you don't connect with this. I do hope that you consider that I'm new. For the first, I don't know, 6 months or whatever, that you consider that I'm, new before you hit the dislike. I'm not saying you have to like it either, but I do hope for your support because over time I'm going to get better at this and I can help you more. I've always known that I have a gift. It wasn't something I thought I could do anything with until I ran across readers on YouTube and I said, you know what? I've always had a calling for this, and there's a place that I can share this. Anyhow, I haven't talked a lot about my psychic abilities and whatnot, but I generally do have a sense of what I think. But I let the cards say the story. Okay. Angels and spirit guides, please tell me what I can share to my Gemini friends today about their person. I really appreciate it. In Gemini, if I accidentally say he, I don't see gender. But I have a tendency, because I've been reading for myself, and since I'm hetero, I have a tendency to accidentally say he. But it's not he, and I mean person if I accidentally say that. And I'm getting a little better at it, but it still pops out at times because I'm deep in the emotional feelings that I'm having inside, and it just comes out that way. But I mean person. The energies can be female and male, but it's not gender specific. Like even though I'm hetero, I might be in my masculine energies when I'm going through something. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Um, okay, I think that's everything that I need to say. Okay, so I'm going to place the cards in such a way that you can see them. If I am looking at cards and I have it turned this way towards me and it's upside, then it's upside for you, right? And if I'm placing cards this way, then it's upside for you in this direction. And wow, why don't we just make that this was just well, but I like the idea that this could be what your reading's gonna be. I Sounds to me like you might be having it all, but let's see what the cards have to say. I am going to pull 9 cards, and I shuffle like this in between. Now the cards are all pre-shuffled. I have a issue with my I have an issue with my. I guess they really want to pop out for you. Oh, I have this. No, that is strange. Wait a minute. Ah, I'm. I don't know what that is. I just got this deck, so and I was like so excited because I love the way the Smith Waite artwork is without the borders, you know. So I was like, thought maybe for a minute I had the wrong. I have to see what that's about, but I don't know. Okay, it was meant for you. All right, this is in the reading. Hey, I'm loving it. Okay, and what I really love is that as I sat it down, it was obvious that that they were coming out in that direction. Oh, this one didn't. But I have to find out what that is. Interesting. Oh, and at the bottom of the deck is the Justice card. So your overall sense, although I don't know what that is. You know, this looks like it's going to be a little bit happier of a reading than the ones I've had before, but let's see what the cards have to say. Okay, so what's going on with your person? Queen of Pentacles. Your person feels confident in their resources, that they have something to give. And interestingly enough, we have another Pentacles card here, but it has a Libra fairness sign in it, so it's kind of interesting. I like this card. It came up for Aries too, but it is the Six of Pentacles, which is a very stable card, and it's trying to be fair with resources. I have to interesting that we're talking about resources here, because we're starting something. Your person's starting an action, taking action. Now, being fair with their time. Aha, resources is also time. Okay, I'm feeling time here. And we want to take action and start something passionate. But they're going to have to steal some time to give it to you. The Queen and the King of Pentacles are here. In the house. This is interesting. Okay. He's, or he or she, your person is very comfortable with their time and their resources. So I'm not sure why they need to steal some time, but let's see what else is going on. Now, the overall is the Justice card, which it is it's a two, so it's got the fairness and the consideration. So interestingly enough, we have fairness here too. Usually when this card comes up, it has to do with contracts and things. So I wonder if there's resources involved in some legal matter. So this very well could be, and they need to get they need to sneak something to be able to feel comfortable with all the with their time and resources. Okay. Now this is a page of wands. So we have the ace of wands and the page of wands, which is interesting, right underneath each other, because we're starting something passionate, and then uh, uh, this page is actually, almost naively going to act on that passion, um, because your person sees you as the empress, and they see a fulfilling life with you. And they have such affection for you that and it's almost like you have a past with this person. Like maybe you've known each other since you were kids, or you had a past life together, but there's definitely a strong affection, as well as seeing you as everything that your person wants. So they definitely see you, but there is some matter here that is being worked out fairly, even though your person wants to act, start something passionate and act on that from a youthful, wondrous take. But there's these pentacles here. The king and the queen are both here, and I think this is your person in both positions of the king and queen. Um, and they're trying to be fair and bestow. So they, what, it could be that this person has children and they have to share their time with the children as well. It could also be that this person is getting out of a marriage and trying to leave with as much resources as they can without, you know, um, on the quiet side, without harming, anyone. They want to do it fairly. Okay. So your person's in a situation, but they are in a position to start something passionate and start something from with childlike wonder with you. They do have to keep this all in perspective, though. Okay, I like that. I mean, it's not perfect. It's not a perfect situation, but let's see what the spirits of the Avalon want to tell us in terms of advice. Because I mean, it looks like, stay the course. Things are this is looking really well. I don't. I mean, there's some things to work out, but it's looking really well. So let me get my glasses here so I can read the. All right, Gemini. Spirits, can you give some advice to Gemini about this situation? Doesn't look like too much advice is needed, but maybe things are so rosy that you actually see something that is worth Gemini working on. Oh, this is interesting. I got this card in the last reading as well. Although that reading wasn't quite as this one. When that card came up, it was more like, oh, what is this even going to work? And love came up, and I was just so relieved because, but it clearly in this situation, uh, uh, just keep in mind, because I already read from the booklet about this, that the love is in you. It's the divine. It's so even though you're seeing this with your person, and your person is seeing you this way, um, you know, always remind yourself that love is a bigger picture than just this situation. And And love can extend to, your love can extend to the people who matter to him, maybe children, or in this case, people that he's helping. Perhaps he's a boss and he's got employees. You've got to be loving towards the people involved in the situation, but he is trying to get away with some. And I don't see this as a bad thing. I think, he does have a right to take some of these things with him. This is fairness. I mean, the person is definitely interested in fairness, so I don't see this as a bad thing. Okay, let's see what the angels are also going to tell us. It's just interesting. We got love twice in a row. Okay, angels, what can you tell my Gemini friends? Playfulness. Oh, the Geminis I know. Yeah, I can see them being very playful. And, oh, religious factors come into play. Now, this isn't always necessarily religion. This is worldview and whatnot. So I would keep in mind that there could be the way you see things and the way they see things might be why you're kind of separate from this. So I would say to give your person the space to deal with this, because it's really, since it's not really about you, they have a wonderful situation here that they want to share with you. So don't worry about this. This is you don't have to agree or disagree. You just respect and love in the divine sense, and don't worry about any of this. Okay. Unrequited love. Now that is weird. But let me see. Sometimes, these cards are not, black and white. So, not enough attraction or chemistry. Well, you know what? I would say that it's just telling you to, keep the playfulness here so that you don't run into a situation where, you get all caught up in all this stuff and it ruins that connection that you're feeling and whatnot. Because it could, this is just the angels telling you to be careful. Love like this, and this isn't going to happen. If you're, I don't see, there's no unrequited love going on here, but we did ask for advice. So the advice is to make sure that you keep things in such a way, playfulness. Don't let these things stand in the way so that you don't create the situation where you don't have this situation happening the way your person wants it to be. Okay. And I have one more thing. Every time I got two more things. I have cards that I made myself, and they're messages that if I want to know what your person wants to say, or what's on their mind that they might say if they spoke out loud, what were they thinking inside. Let's see what your person has to say. I see a little part of you in everyone I meet. Well, I can see why your person is really, really happy about this. Okay. And now for the last. I always like when readers use letters, because every time I use letters, I always can pretty much see the sentence like each letter is like an acronym for each word, and oftentimes it's in the order that I 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Um, it's usually in the order of the sentence too, but sometimes I have to turn it around. I've gotten some pretty interesting messages that really I get. So anyhow, I hope that these letters will tell you a story of something. Oops, I'm not putting it in any particular order. I'm just uh, I mean, it might be, but so, and sometimes it is a word. I don't particularly see a word here, but okay. I have a sentence there, but I think that each message is personal. Now, for me, this was the order, but I'll let you be just I'll let you decide that on your own. And maybe it doesn't have any meaning for you. It's always worked for me every time the readers do it, so I couldn't help it. All right. Have a wonderful week. I hope that I helped. It looks like you didn't need much help, though, Jim, and I'm really happy for you here. Although, it does say to be careful with some things. So, maybe there is a message there that's, worth. I will let you go until next time. This is your reading